Hi guys, welcome back to part 3 of my Ancient Warfare modded Spotlight. And yeah, as we proved last episode when we were faffing around over there, I do make mistakes. This is take 3, by the way, of this particular one, so I do make mistakes fairly regular. The auto craftsman that was in that room was fixating through the wall, and that was because I'd originally set these up as auto crafting stations, and he was looking for work there, and of course there wasn't any, so he was getting a little bit confused. So the focus of part 3 is going to be on storage, item transport, and the combat and some of the building elements. So let us come in here and start off with this fella. 2 gold, food bundle, wool will give you a courier. Wood, oak planks, paper and light grey dye will give you a routing order. So if I'm going to have to put this guy down very quickly and catch him because I can grab his routing order before he can do anything. So this is our courier. He's got a little large backpack. Obviously the courier needs that to carry his stuff. You can use any backpack, obviously it will dictate what he can carry with him. Over here we've got a farm. The farm's not really part of this, it's just generating wheat for me. But in here is one of the nicest items I have seen in a modded pack for a while. This is primitive AE, for want of a better word. You come back here actually, before you get into trouble. So what we've got in here is a warehouse. We've got a nice old warehouse, and the first item we need to construct for a warehouse is this. 6 planks, paper, 2 chests will give you the warehouse control block. This, and when you place the warehouse control block, you will get a work area, which is, off the top of my head, I think it's 5 by 5 by 4. 5 by 5 by 4, yes. So a fairly big 3-dimensional area, reasonable size, that can be expanded with the bounds upgrade. Now, the next item you are going to want is some storage for your warehouse. So take a chest and 4 planks, and that will give you a small warehouse storage. It has a small amount of storage in it. If we plonk that down, as you can't see from that, you would need the warehouse controller next to it. Add 2 iron, you will get a medium warehouse storage, obviously stores more. Another 2 iron into that recipe will give you a large warehouse storage, which will actually give you even more storage. And as you can see here, I've got 3 rows. They don't have to be like this, they can be just mingled in, as long as they're within this work area, and you can put them in there and just build up until it's full. Another item you've got is a U of planks, chest and some paper will give you the warehouse interface. Now this thing here is how you pipe things into and out of your warehouse, and also how the NPCs can place things into or take things out of your warehouse. The final item here is 6 planks, iron, crafting table and paper will give you a warehouse crafting station, which is on the top here. This does need normally to be powered. I haven't got it powered at the moment, it's just there for demonstration purposes to how it would go. But you can put your crafting recipe in here and it will basically pull items from your warehouse, craft those and put those back in until you tell it to stop. Over here, what looks like a sign is actually a sign and a piece of paper, which will give you a warehouse stock viewer, and that goes in the warehouse and shows you the items you ask it to show you and how much you've got. So if we right click on the warehouse, we've got iron and oak. You can change the sort order. You can sort by input. We've got an input, so you can put that in. You can do a quantity or the name. So you can sort it via a variety of things, and obviously you can just pull out and place these things back in, exactly the same as you would a chest. Now the stock view is quite a nice one because you can sit there and you tell it what items you want it to show you. So we've got it set for oak, iron and gold. There's no gold in there. We could add a new filter if we wanted to remove it. Each viewer can do 4 items. It has to be, again, within the bounds of the work area. If we take this gold and place it into the interface block, bang, it's gone. It's like, where's my gold gone? Well, it's in here, of course. It's been dragged out of the interface block into the storage, and now that is showing us gold ingots quite normally. This filter here is saying always keep 16 iron ingots available within the interface, so I could create a courier or a hopper to actually pipe these and take these out. So that's another feature which is quite nice, and this powers just a Stirling generator running the actual interface. But what if you want to do something a bit more complicated? Well, we've got a farm. It's been farming wheat, and this wheat is the stuff that I cocked up on the previous 2 attempts at taking this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to replace, well, first things we'll look at the routing order itself. So the routing order, you hover over the targets and press Z. So this is position 1, this is position 2. And if you right click on it, you can see that I've told it to take from the up position. Now these positions in the blocks are fairly important. This is the up position, this is the down position. I'm not sure what that position is. It's probably north or south or east. It's not always immediately apparent. So from the up position, take 64, take a match of 64 wheat. Now there's fill courier. You've got a variety of options here. You can promote or demote these. So that is now from the crop farm, but we want to actually have that first, otherwise it makes no sense whatsoever. And we told it to go to the down position of the warehouse, i.e. this one, and deposit the match. You can also use damage values or meta tags as well within this, if you really want to get fancy. So let's put our courier down. Now here he is. He's obviously leveled up a bit, because I've done this 3 times now. And we'll give him his works order. Now he starts working in here, and you'll notice the wheat's gone. And eventually, if you look in his backpack, he's got the wheat with him. So you can take his backpack off him and see what he's carrying. He'll run over here. As long as he's in range, if for some reason he's not bothered about line of sight, he'll start depositing, and you can see now the wheat is in the system. And he will just basically run backwards and forwards between here and there, waiting for work, and move the stuff around. Again, these guys have got terrible pathfinding. Don't expect them to navigate round an obstacle course to do your work for you, because they will get stuck. I am going to repack this guy because he's annoying, and we'll just leave him in there for now. So these couriers you can do some fairly complicated things with. So over here we've got the old auto crafting table, and I have got, for starters, a courier. I've got a works order. A craftsman. Now if I grab this courier, if you look, sorry, let me just grab some of this out, because otherwise this isn't going to work. I tell you, take 3. I've done this before. You think it's just a matter of pressing record and talking twaddle. It is largely just a matter of pressing record and talking twaddle, but I don't want to tell you that. So we've got our courier. Now if I grab this guy quickly and take his order off him, I didn't get there quite fast enough. He has probably now got a bunch of wood in his inventory. That's fine, we don't need to worry about that. Grab our routing order. Now let us look at this. The routing order is going from chest 1 to here. Now this auto crafting table is doing oak wood into oak wood planks. Nothing much to that. This one is doing oak planks into sticks. This one is doing a combination of the 2 into carpenter's blocks. And if we look at the routing order, we're saying from the chest in the up position, take a stack of wood. In the up position, on here, I want you to place a stack of wood. And then from the down position, now this doesn't always, as I say, doesn't always make sense, and I had to get this by trial and error. In the down position, this one, take planks. Deposit planks in here, and deposit planks in here. Oops, sorry. And take sticks from this table and put them in that table. That's all this guy does. So we go in there, give him his routing order again, and he's off, and he's desperately trying to find work to do. He's filled that up. That's gone. He's probably still got some wood left. He has, so he's just sat there going, I don't know. Put that in the right place. I don't know what to do. Next thing, we've got a craftsman. And the craftsman has a works order. Now, just round here, I've got a couple of these orders laid out. Works order is light grey dye, wood and paper. Gives you a works order. This is an upkeep order, which allows you to tell them how much food to take from a town hall. So by default, they take a certain amount of minutes worth of food, and they'll work a while, and they'll go back and get some more. You can basically define your town hall and sit there and say, I want you to take a certain amount of time's worth of upkeep before you go back and go for food again. Okay, so the works order. Well, the works order is saying, here's our 4 workstations. Work time I've let at 0, so it's just doing a cycle on each point, and he'll work his way around until, you know, there's no work there. So we'll place him down. By default, he's going to work anyway, so he's probably looking in one of these. But what we're going to do is going to give him his works order, so he knows he's got those 4. Now there's a slight glitch here. Oh, he's doing that one. He knows about that, so you can see he's making crafting tables. Sometimes you do have to just reset these, and eventually he'll get the idea. This guy's working, he's now sticking planks into here, and if we do and reset that, eventually he'll start making some sticks. So with a courier and a craftsman, it is possible to auto craft certain items. He's already got the sticks in there, so we can pop those in. And you can see he's doing his thing, just getting on, making me crafting benches. He's not made any planks for a while. What are you working on now, my friend? Crafting benches. Let's stop you making crafting benches. That'll stop you on there. Let's see what you are working on. You haven't got any planks yet, so you probably do need to work on that one a bit. Yep, he's doing it. And they are not necessarily the fastest auto crafting system in the world. That has to be said. But eventually, and if I just go and borrow some of these and pop a couple in here, he'll make you those. So yeah, it is not applied energy sticks to auto crafting. It is not, you know, super duper cyclic assemblers. It is fairly basic, and they are working within the bounds of their own AI, so be aware that it's not perfect. But if you want something that will make you certain things, you know, and do the work for you, these guys will do it, albeit slowly. Now, the last thing before we move into the military area is in here. Now this is iron and chest will make you a mailbox, and I think these items are too cheap. The reason being is we can go in here, we can go select name. Well, we are mailbox 1, okay, and we can select a target, and this is mailbox 2 over here. So if I take these stones and put them in there, they vanish and they appear in the mailbox 2. Put them in there, they teleport back. These in theory have no range. I believe they probably have to be chunk loaded, but these are item tesseracts. You can obviously hopper items out. You could use couriers to move items from them. These, to me, they are so powerful. And obviously you could put one of these by your warehouse and hopper all the stuff that goes into it straight into the warehouse. So yeah, to me, definitely too cheap, but there you go, powerful little item. So here we come to the castle, and we've got a moat complete with man-eating squids and a drawbridge. Apply a redstone signal to the bottom of the drawbridge, and down it comes. Apply a redstone signal, back up, back down, these are cool. These are apart from the building module. Now, once you're in, you can apply a redstone signal. Again, this is just vanilla redstone. I've just used some signal and repeaters and all sorts of little jiggery pokery. This fella here, sliding doors, and obviously you can come in and close it from the other side, and then of course you could also have your portcullis. Let me just run through and let that close, and here we are in the fort. There's nobody about at the moment, but there you go. So these items from the building module, well, what have you got? Well, again, and these are very cheap. Smooth stone, wood and redstone, wooden gate vertical open. Iron, redstone and smooth stone, iron gate vertical open. This particular pattern of wood and smooth stone, vertical gate slide open. Iron gate, same thing. Vertical gate split in this pattern. Iron gate split in this pattern. And finally, that is your drawbridge. I mean, how cheap is that? That's cheaper than, well, it's apart from the redstone, it's as cheap as a chest. You know, it is dirt cheap. Now, how do you use these things? Well, let's just take, what have we not used? Take the iron gate. Iron gate, slide open. And what we're going to do is we're going to come over to this gate. And we are going to, if I can get it. No, we'll get there eventually. You should be able to. There we go. Repack gate. And yeah, so we need to close this one. And eventually, once it's closed, they're not the fastest things in the world. You can walk through them until they are shut. Once they're shut, they're solid. We can repack the gate and we can pick it up. So let us get this, and what we're going to do is if you hover over it, it will say press Z to set bounds, sneak right click to clear item. So Z to Z, right click, that's in place, and now we have a sliding vertical gate. We can stick this one back in exactly the same way, Z to Z, right click, and it's done. So that's the gates. There are other items of building things within the mod which I'm not covering in this spotlight because they are A, specifically aimed at map makers, and B, somewhat buggy and somewhat undocumented and incomplete. So let's have a look and go in here. What else have we got? Well, start off with wooden sword, food bundle, iron, ingots will give you a combat NPC. Wood, paper and rose red, combat orders. If you use stick, iron and wood, you will get a wooden command baton. Iron command baton. Sorry. Stone command baton. Iron command baton. Gold command baton. Diamond command baton. And if you look at the diamond command baton, it has a +7 attack damage, exactly the same as a diamond sword. Now these items on the wall here are shields. They have no crafting recipe. You will find them in chests and you can use them in the offhand slot of your combat NPCs. But what can you do with combat NPCs? Well, let us start over. Let's turn mobs on, difficulty normal. Get some archer NPCs and we'll go 1, 2, 3. Now these guys are armed, you can put armor on them, they've got a bow, that's how we know they're archers. And if we right click there, you get a little fighting icon over the head. And they do their job. Repack these guys quickly. Just grab them up. So that's your archers. They'll quite happily shoot things. They have a range similar to skeletons. and probably share some of the skeleton AI. Now if we come over into this corner, we've got a selection of other NPCs. Now these guys, let's start off with the soldiers. Now the soldiers, I'm going to place them in this arena. Here's a guy, he's got his shield, he's got his sword. The shield gives plus 50% to their attack damage. And they've got 20 health. Now let's... They're taking the damage, they take the damage, they will heal slowly over time. But why have them heal slowly? Let's have a look at the medic. So the medic, give him an axe, that's how you define as a medic. He's armoured, and if you look at him, he is busy healing his compatriots. And again, if we fire these off, bang, they're down and instantly healed. Now if you were to give a combat NPC one of these command buttons, you will get a commander, and he will add to the fighting effectiveness of his soldiers. Now let's try it. What's that, 2 hits? And obviously the medic goes in and does his bit. Now let's give these a bit more of a challenge. Had to help there. So yeah, that is your basic medic. That's your soldier. That's another soldier. And here, of course, is, if I can reach him, is your commander. And don't forget he's got diamond sword damage because he's got a command baton as well. There is one other guy which we'll pop in there. Now this is the engineer. You give him a hammer. Currently he has no role. He is a jobless man. His job is to man the siege engines, but of course the siege engines module does not exist. So yeah, not brilliant. Now I'm going to go and just grab one of these horses out. I don't think I've got some more. I've got plenty of. And let's bring this guy out and just jump off him. And he's just a bog standard vanilla horse. Let's get my soldier. And I'm going to take my command baton. You'll notice I get a crosshair on him. I'm going to select him. He's mine, and I'm going to say come here. Which is, if we look, it is X. And there you go. He moves over there. Now he's back over there. Come here. We can also tell him to move and guard with a C. And he's wanted to go back there. Come on, just get there. There's set home, V. And he comes back, and now he's there. We go V, that's your home now. And you also have set his upkeep point, which is B. So, and then you just right click on him to unselect. Now I need to go and get that horse back before it kills itself. Which means that you're going to see, oh maybe not. You're not going to see the set. However, I can right click on this guy and I can say C. I think it's C. Now he's on that horse. He's riding the horse. What the hell is going on here? He's riding that horse, and I can go and say V and move him around. And I think if you've got the there doesn't appear to be a dismount. You can repack him, so you can come over to him. If I can get hit, do repack. Now here's a problem. Once an NPC has ridden a horse, you can get on him, but you can't control that horse. That horse is effectively now an NPC. So just be aware of that. If you have your favourite horse, don't go sticking your NPCs on him. But we could and it can be any NPC we like, so we can get him, we can go and he'll come over here. Let me tell him to move over, and he's got some speed on him. It's got to be said. Oops, that's not the right button. I need my... And he'll still fight. He'll fire his bow just as he would normally. Now that should give him buff. You can probably see there's a buff because his commander's nearby. So yeah, he can do that. We can select several NPCs as well. So let me get these guys. Come over here. So we've got them in a command group now, and we can just say, all of you, come over here. Well, let's set that as your home then. So yeah, this is pretty fancy stuff. Imagine going into a dungeon or, you know, a fortress with a bunch of these guys at your back. Anyway, before we finish, I'm going to change game mode because there is one other thing that I want to point out that this game adds. This is, by the way, if you're wondering what my build sets look like when they are literally, to a degree, like Western sets. They're often just frontage. But yeah, that's just me, how I like things to look. But we are ultimately in a weatherless world. This mod pack adds game generation, terrain generation. So you will find places like this. This is the city. And like all cities, it has it's basically a super village. There are all sorts of goodies in these places. You come through the middle here and you'll see you've got I think this is a guard house, and obviously there's all sorts of fun to be had in here. By fun I mean loot. Large house here, again, lots of loot to be had. Be aware, and you can probably see there's a bit of lag around here, and that is because these villagers breed like bloody crazy in this area. These are very good for finding some things like water wheels, and you'll find over here there is a fairly large windmill as well. There are a few surprises to be had, not least of which, if you come to the toilets, there's the toilet, and if you pop that off, there are the villagers' turds. Villagers apparently poo gold nuggets. So that's one structure. Now what we need to do is just fly out. They should be fairly common, but there are bandit castles, there are Viking castles, pirate castles, jungle native castles, if I can find... I'll not find any of jungle natives because obviously we won't have a jungle biome. There are larger villages. Am I missing anything? Vikings. Oh, desert nomads. They all have loot in them. They all have those NPCs guarding them. And just a word of caution to you guys before we finish up here. They band together. So if you are going to attack one of those things, if you hit a bandit, every bandit in the castle is going to go zombie pigman on you. They'll aggro and they will all attack. So make sure you are ready to fight them before you actually hit one, because you are going to suffer otherwise. And I think on that note, that probably about covers the majority of the mod. As I say, there are a few items in the mod, and let me just take you over into the structures module. So there's things like the drafting station, the advanced monster spawner, construction tools. Most of these don't have recipes. The drafting station does, and I think that is and obviously the gates do, but these are all creative only items for map makers. So on that note, I think that's pretty much Ancient Warfare. If you want to see it in use, obviously I've got my Ancient Warfare series, which is just looking mainly at Ancient Warfare with a few additions. I also have the Mage Dark Ages series, which has got Ancient Warfare on it, where we are using that. But yeah, as usual, all the details of the mod, links and everything in the description. And from me and these guys who seem to be getting a buff from the commander bean here, I didn't think it was that close, but thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions or comments or thoughts or ideas, do let me know. And until my next mod showcase or whatever other video you watch, I will see you soon. Bye for now.